Hi, my name is John Dwyer. And I believe that the government and the institutions try really hard to take the fun out of being successful. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm living proof, and so are the people that I work with. Day after day, I continue to see successful people make simple financial mistakes with their money. Mistakes that are unknowingly costing them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over their lifetime. If you would like to experience epic upside, then these videos are for you.
All right, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to have a conversation in what I refer to as the income game.
Ooh, it's a game.
It's a game, and I know you like to play games, so we're going to have a little fun with this. But
I like to win.
You like to win. Well, I don't know if you can. I mean, you could probably win this game, right?
Okay,
but there's no parting favors if you get them all right. Okay, but the game that we're going to play is what I refer to as the income game.
Okay.
Okay, and why I think this is really important is it's for people to understand where they sit on the economic ladder. This income game is going to determine what it takes to put people in the top 50, 25, 10, 5, and 1% income earners in the United States, adjusted for household income. Okay. So Maria, would you say your income is common or uncommon as it relates to everybody else in the United States? Would you say your income is common or uncommon?
I would say my income's common.
Common. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to go through this income game.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to map out, determine whether or not your income is common or uncommon.
Great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So the top 50%. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to share with me what you think it would take for somebody to be in the top 50% of income earners in the United States.
How much would I have to make?
Yeah, how much would you have to make? Okay. So the top 50% means just you're right in the middle. How much income would you have to make?
I'd say about $100,000.
$100,000.
Yep.
Okay. Top 25%.
And double that.
Okay, so a couple hundred thousand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Top 10%.
$600,000.
$600,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5.
Probably $1 million.
Million. Okay. The top 1%. To be the top 1% of income earners, what would you have to be making?
Make a multimillionaire.
Okay, multimillionaire,
Yep.
right? So that's what, those are the numbers that you believe. Now, I understand there might not be really data sources to where you got those numbers, right? But it's what we oftentimes think of, what it takes.
It's our perception.
Perception,
Yep.
right? So here's the numbers, okay? The top 50%, you only have to be making $40,000 of income.
Wow.
That puts you right in the middle, okay? Top 25% is around $80,000.
Okay.
Top 10, $139,000. So think about that.
So I was only a little off.
Only a little off, right? So the top 10% means that you're making more than 90% of most Americans. Is only $139,000 a year of income.
Wow, that's crazy.
Okay, the top 5 is 197. The top 1 is 480,000. It doesn't really matter what your income is, but what I want you to do is think about where you fit on that scale. And my guess is you're probably, you are in the top 50%, right? But so when I asked you that question, is your income common or uncommon? And you thought your income was common, right?
I did say that, yeah.
Okay, but if you're in the top 1%, 5%, in the top 10%, right? What type of planning strategies should you be using? Should you be doing the same common things that everybody else is doing, or do you think you need to look at money from a different perspective?
I think I should look at money from a different perspective.
Yeah, and that's the challenge, right? It's like, again, the top 10% is only $139,000 of income, yet people are doing the same thing over and over and over again from a planning decision and trying to get a different result. It's a definition of insanity. And the reality is that people oftentimes don't think that they're wealthy. Right? They have their income coming in, they're paying their bills, they're doing all these different things.
They're struggling to get ahead.
They're struggling to get ahead, and in fact, they often think that everybody else has more money than they do.
Yeah, they don't know that they are ahead.
They don't know that they are ahead.
Yeah.
Right? As it relates to the percentages. Now, where do these numbers come from? They came from your uncle. Okay, the IRS.
Okay.
This data is derived from the IRS.
I was wondering.
Right? Okay. Now, let's take into consideration, so we understand that, your income is not common. You have an uncommon income.
Yep.
Right?
Establish that.
And one other thing that's really important is to look at the impact of taxation.
Okay.
Okay? Because when we look at the top 1% of income earners, the top 1% is paying about 37% of all the taxes in the U.S.
The top 1%.
Top 1% is paying 37%
37%.
of all taxes. Okay. The top 5, which is inclusive of the 1,
Okay.
pays for about 58% of all the taxes.
Wow.
The top 10, 69, the top 25, 85, and the top 50% pays 96% of all the tax.
Okay.
So when we hear people talk about, you know, the wealthy need to pay their fair share, they never determine or tell us what the middle class is or how we're trying to help out the middle class. I mean, it only takes $80,000 of income to put you in to be in the top 25% bracket.
Right.
Right? And so we have a target on our back from a tax perspective. Because again, the top 50% of income earners pay almost all the entire tax.
Right.
Right? And so as we navigate and go through where we sit on the economic ladder, we have to look at money from a different perspective. And there's strategies that we can use to help navigate and mitigate and reduce your tax liability not only now but in the future.
Cool.
So that's why I feel like this income game is an important thing to understand, because a lot of people, just like you, are off. Now, the numbers have kind of been out there. It's not as alarming as it used to be,
told me I was
right?
off.
Right? Told you you're off, right? It's not as alarming as it used to be because this information is starting to get more and more out there. But the top 1%, it's $480,000. Now, that's still a good income, but it's not the millions of dollars that people think.
But what you're saying is it changes how you plan for things
Yep.
and how you protect yourself.
And you have to, again, if you're in the top 50% of income earners, how are you looking at, if you're in the top 50% of income earners, what are you doing with your wealth? Are you using the same common strategies that everybody else is using, the masses are using, or are you going to look at money from a different perspective? And the question you should ask yourself is, are the masses broke or the masses wealthy? The masses aren't wealthy.
Right.
Right? And so from that perspective, we want to look at money through a different lens.
Cool.
So that's the income game, right? You did pretty good.
Did I win?
Yeah, you did. Well, I don't know if you won, but right? But no, but again, your numbers aren't that far off from what I hear on a daily basis. You know, I mean, I had a client meeting one time, and it was hilarious because they dropped the F-bomb in the middle of the meeting because they could not believe these numbers. Two sharp people with high incomes. They had no idea where they sat and the position that they're potentially going to be in. So again, it just really increases the validity of what you're doing from a planning perspective.
I can see that.
Okay?